So I wanted to take a second to take a look at this character here. This is a person COE. If for some reason they're a jackass and decided that putting quality control in their name is a good idea. Quality control for who? I'm not entirely sure. Who the fuck they are, where the fuck they came from, I'm not sure about that one. However, this is one of the people who decided that they were going to create a curator group, and they've been curating random games and doing, reviews on these games. So recently they have placed a review on the game of Warhammer Darktide, which, if you are not familiar, Warhammer Darktide is made by the same people who made Vermintide, which is Fatshark Studios. They have recently announced through the Xbox game reveal thing that they are going to be doing a game called Warhammer Darktide. This person has decided to make it fit to warn the community about how terrible of a game that Darktide is going to be because of how bad that Vermintide is. So I think it's quite interesting. Um, because I don't really understand it. Because some of his points are mute, and the guy comes across as a complete and total jackass. Like a male Karen. Other people are having fun, other people enjoyed Vermintide, and because this guy didn't enjoy Vermintide, didn't enjoy some of the things that he'd had in there, he has to go and ruin other people's fun and spread posts about how bad Vermintide or how bad Darktide is going to be. Because Vermintide is very clearly a completely terrible game, and absolutely nobody should spend any of their money on it, which is bullshit, by the way. So let's go and take a look at this first point, which is his point when it comes to Vermintide. This guy has the point that the developers had posted their game way too early. So let's take a look at this guy's first one. Apparently, the developers themselves, the developers plural, um, had said that their game was not released or not ready for release. Yeah, I don't understand it. So let's zoom in and let's break this down piece by piece because it's a juicy one. You're gonna love this. So me typing in response to them trying to justify pushing the extremely controversial easy anti-cheat into an already unstable game. I've never had a problem with easy anti-cheat. I actually prefer easy anti-cheat over a lot of the other easy anti-cheats out there because I mean you could be using VAC that just doesn't fucking work now. I mean back in the day it would ban you for nothing, and now it's just doesn't work at all. Like the hackers are just running around in any VAC game, and the VAC doesn't give a shit. Or you could be using de novo, which has DRM and also has the problem where back in the recent past, where it would actually fry certain SSDs and cause memory leaks. So I mean, easy anti-cheat. Granted, it may not be completely amazing, but there's not many other choices you got there, pal. So his post was the reason why we were doing this. That Robin is the technical developer for Fatshark Studios. His post is the reason why we are doing this is because one of our absolute biggest complaints for Vermintide 1 is that kept reoccurring is reports of cheaters using cheats to grief, disrupt, and sometimes even vandalize our servers. His response, this is before he decided to put quality control in his name. This is before he became an asshole. If you are so concerned with grief and disruptive behavior, why have you completely disabled our ability to use the vote kick or host kick systems in the game during the entire beta and testing periods? Number one, it's a beta and testing period. Things are meant to break. Things are going to break. You better expect it. Maybe instead of taking a hostile approach of going, hey, why'd you disable this, on going, hey, was disabling this an accident? That's kind of a better approach. Maybe the technical developer wouldn't have thought you're an asshole at the end of this. Anyways, we'll move on to Robin's response. I'm not exactly sure why this is disabled. I think it is UI related, but it is definitely high on the to-do list to getting back into the game. Unfortunately, it is worked on by the same people as the scoreboard, crafting UI, inventory, etc. So they have a lot of things on their plate to get done for launch. A valid point. Developing a game is not exactly fucking easy. Am I saying that Vermintide is perfect? No. I'm not saying that Vermintide is perfect. I'm saying that this guy here has decided to go out of his way to be the people's hero and is a complete asshole and comes across as a complete dick and is for some reason confused as to why the technical director does not want to talk to him anymore. So yeah, let's move to the next response. Good to hear, but knowing you have all of these backlog issues and errors and things to do, why did you decide to slap easy anti-cheat on top of it, which has now broken the game substantially more, while still sticking to your game's premature launch premature launch that's in 2 days time. There we go. As far as I know, you're self-publishing, so I've got no idea why you're shooting yourselves in the foot by not delaying the release for 1 to 3 months instead of releasing the current mess that will turn a lot of potential long-term players away. Huh. Turn a lot of long-term players away. I don't think any of them got turned away. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Vermintide 2 is still going strong, and there's still quite a few people that play it. So but they've still got a community that loves and enjoys their game. They've still got a community that wants to see more of their game. They've still got people that actually give a shit. If it has pushed away their long-term players, why the fuck are people still playing it? Why do people still find it interesting? Why do people still, to this day, take the time to sit and play the fucking game? It doesn't make any sense. If this was such a big mistake, then why didn't it just stop? Why are they making Darktide now? Why do they even have the ability to make Darktide? I don't understand. And I think it's even better because I can debunk this point of turning long-term players away with like 4 clicks. Check this out. Boom. We're gonna go over to the Steam page right now. Bam. All right, oh fuck. Let's go to the store. Let's look at Vermintide. Where is that? Vermintide. That was 1 click, 2 clicks. I don't understand. Like, recent reviews, mostly positive, out of 1,618, very clearly that 100 and, out in the last 30 days, 1,638 people have had positive reviews. And all the reviews in general, out of 39,385 people, it is mostly positive. Very clearly, it has turned quite a few people away. Let's go to his profile. Go to profile. Oh, his profile is private. Of course it is. Here's some of his quote-unquote proof. Let's take a gander at this one. This one's great. I absolutely love it. Considering how it went with Vermintide 2, where you could only play a fraction of the maps, leaving all the other ones in untested, buggy, and unoptimized, I wouldn't hold my breath for this one, especially since, you know, they knowingly released Vermintide 2 in an unfinished, broken state. Let's have a look at some of these screenshots. Have a look at some of these. Oh no, we've already looked at that one. That's one we have open. Oh yeah, this one was my fucking favorite. So we'll get into this one after we finish this one, because it is just fucking amazing. Actually, no, we'll just start it right now. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, because I find this the funniest shit. I find it the most entertaining. And oh my god. So let's move to Robin's response. Okay, let's move to Robin's response. We need it tested before launch. With over 20,000 players playing every night, some people having issues would be expected, and we hope to be able to resolve them before then. We were hoping to have this live earlier, but for the usual software development reasons, that didn't happen. We have been running this for the 1,000 players on the closed test app all weekend with next to no reported issues. 1,000 people having absolutely no problems. That's not a small number. Like I think the problem is that people look at numbers And because of YouTube and, people having like 14 million people that follow them, they don't seem to understand that 1,000 people is still a lot of people. You can't fit 1,000 people into one room. That's a lot. You know, it's quite a few people. So if 1,000 people were playing this game over the weekend and absolutely none of them are having zero problems at all and they're all completely enjoying the game, very clearly the game is enjoyable. Does it have its problems? Yes. But that's besides the fact. Let's just say I would personally love another 1 to 3 months. Heck, give me another year and the game would be amazing. But it isn't always that simple, so we are trying to make the best co-op game out there with the cards we've been dealt with. Now, this is where this guy comes off as a complete and total fucking asshole. Like, I started reading this and I was like, this guy's a fucking dick. Like, holy shit. You don't need to be this rude in a post against somebody that's just answering your questions. Literally, all Robin is doing, he's not making fun of him. All he's doing is just answering his questions and saying why, what is going on, and giving him reasoning. And this guy comes at him fucking sideways. The cards we've been dealt, as I mentioned, you are a self publishing, privately held company that's also independent. Couldn't even find a company stocks of Fatshark. You're also putting this game onto Steam to have them handle next to all the sales logistics. Your product is, as far as I'm aware, completely unavailable in physical form. Yeah, as even your collector's edition is purely digital, which means that you have no pressure from retailers, so I'm not entirely sure what these cards are that you're referring to. That entire sentence, or paragraph, sorry, that entire paragraph just has so much negative energy coming from it. Just so much. I am a fucking dick, and I am here to be an asshole, and you, my friend, have bit off the shit end of the stick because you're going to be the one I'm going to be an asshole to. As anyone who owns this game can play it to their heart's content right now, having the only limit be the amount of maps which you can change with a few button presses, which means that any delay wouldn't have any serious backlash, especially not from people like me and you who know the current shoddy state of the game. And I'd also like to believe that you, the technical director of said game, has enough of a voice to say, okay, we need more time, guys, inside your own company to your own fellow co-workers, or am I wrong? No, you are not wrong, but you're still an asshole. Like, I don't understand what people I don't understand what people seem to think that being a dick is going to get them the answers they want. Like, if you approach the question or the problem that you're having with a good attitude, hey, why is this game being released early? I don't believe that this game should be released early. I don't think it's ready yet. Perhaps maybe you'll get a better result. For example, maybe they would have sat there and went, we see your points and we think that's a good idea. We'll kind of touch on these. But the fact that you came across as a complete and total fucking stuck up asshole, uh, it naturally no one wants to respond to you. Please tell us straight up why you were about to do this terrible mistake. You lost over 90% of your player base in the first game within a year after releasing it in an unfinished, broken mess it was, and you're about to do the same thing now. And I, for one, as a fan, would like an actual reason other than cards. He gave you fucking reasons. Like, that's where I'm starting to just be confused, as this person is just doubling back on the same argument over and over. Every time this person brings up a point, every time it's always, oh, the game's not ready. Well, how? Well, it's the RNG. Huh? I don't understand. That is probably the most, like, asshole thing that this guy has said so far, because I don't see how he's telling people to ignore, you know, the community. So somebody posted Fatshark for all the whining and crying from a very, very small minority. Speak for yourself. The reviews have dropped down from 92% plus since the EAC patch. Yep, minority. And then he said, try sorting on the simplified Chinese if you sincerely want to know why. How is that telling them to ignore the Chinese community? He explains it in the next image, but I am so fucking confused as to how that's telling them to ignore the Chinese community. That is just nitpicking and finding an issue and twisting words into basically making it into what you want it to be, the problem that you want it to be. Yeah, no, this guy he continues attacking him over and over, and repeat, oh, here you go, there it is. So here's the full uncut thing by the asshole. That is a complete misrepresentation of what I said and meant. What I am saying is that game developers always want more time, uh, oops, always want more time because they want their product to be perfect before it sees the light of day. Obviously, this does not work in the real world. Admittedly, I should have probably not have written that at all since I was prone to be misinterpreted. But fatigue is starting to set in. There are many factors that go into a release when we have to see the whole picture of what's best for the game. I didn't answer your post because you are clearly not understanding what I meant, and I felt there were better things for me to focus on right now than getting to an argument and a thread about helping people fix issues with the game. What a valid point. Wow. Round of applause for the technical director for telling him in the nicest way possible, I thought you're an asshole and I didn't want to talk to you anymore. The comment about the simplified Chinese was not saying that people should ignore the Chinese community. It was to say that the drop in rating does not have anything to do with anti-cheat, but with that the Chinese community are angry with us. Why they are? Well, right, sort of rightfully so. Because our game, it says it supports simplifies Chinese, and we have yet to get the simplified Chinese localization into the game. It will be in today or tomorrow before the game's release, but they don't know that, so they're giving us negative reviews. Wow, valid points all throughout the entire fucking post. Literally just shitting on literally everything the guy says. Just nope, shut up, get out of here. It's great. I find it completely entertaining because it just debunks literally everything the guy just said, you know. It makes the other guy look like the asshole, especially since he admits in the fucking post, yeah, you know, we made a mistake with the simplified Chinese, that's why they're upset with us. What fucking game developer would do that instead of making an excuse? He admits outrightly that they made a mistake in the middle of the post where he is being called out for other mistakes. Clearly, that's gotta be worth something, right? So he goes and debunks it. Yeah, it's a damn shame you opted to ignoring me and ending the conversation in the first place. Very clearly, he didn't read the actual part, including, you know, hey, fuck you, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you're an asshole and you sound very pompous. No, what I said is that in your personal opinion, the technical director for the game, you would like 1 to 3 months or a year before releasing the game, but you're unable to do this because of the cards we've been dealt. A reason you've willingly decided to not elaborate on until now. Half a week later, in completely different you're doing damage control. I'm speechless. I really don't. You just can't win against these people. That's the problem. It's like arguing with a Karen, okay? There's just no winning. Absolutely none. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, it's like you give them more fuel the more you talk. Yeah, yeah, fatigue can indeed be a huge problem, especially for developers of a game. This is why you take the time you need and don't rush things, especially not as a self-publishing independent video game company. Thanks for the statement, though. You just proved my point even more that you developers are in need of a break, but you still decided to squeeze out the rushed release. Go to my happy place. Where's my happy place? I can't find it. I really don't understand this person. You know, instead of being supportive, like a normal fan would be, this guy decides to take the asshole approach. This guy decides, you know what the answer to my problem is? You know what my answer to why I think this game is bad is because the developers are bad. And so I'm going to go tell them that. Because that's going to fix our problems, right? That's going to make everything so much better. Everyone's going to listen to me. Everyone's going to love me. I'm going to go back to Steam and everyone's going to applaud me as a hero. And it's going to be great. Everyone's going to love me. It's amazing. There are many factors that go into a release, and we want to see the whole picture. This is a post by Robin. Before we want to see a whole picture of what's best for the game. Right. And here's the funny thing with the whole picture. Look at the gaming industry. Rush games left and right. The discontent for early access games have never been higher. Your game was, and still is, technical, unstable train wreck with a controversial, glitchy anti-cheat system recently crammed into it. Okay, I'm not. I don't even. I'm speechless at that part. I don't even have any words. Do you A, take the time you need to deliver a honest, polished product by ironing out all the issues, gathering more data to tweak settings, consider your opinions, and revisit them in a calm and orderly manner together with your staff to make sure everything runs smoothly, or you mean like you are right now, calmly and collectively talking to a fucking developer and realizing that this is their fucking game and it's like a fucking business. They could do whatever the fuck they want with it and they have the right to fucking do it. If you pay for it, guess what? You're the sucker that paid for it. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, you very clearly didn't fucking take any fucking time to sit and think and put through your head, maybe me being an asshole is a bad idea. Maybe me sitting here being a right fucking prick to this developer is going to get the answers that I want. It is going to get them to talk to me. It's going to get them to listen to my opinions and give a shit. Or B, do the exact same thing you did with the first game and cram it out years ahead before it's ready, and lose 90% of your player base within a year knowing your product is nowhere near ready, which I literally told you in the first exact post you decided to ignore. I want to know where he's getting this 90% number from. I really do want to know, because where the fuck did this 90% number come from? Because as far as I know, that Vermintide went strong until Vermintide 2 came out, and there were still quite a few servers out for it. I really don't understand where this 90%, a good portion, because Vermintide was like one of the first times they've ever done a game like that. Like, this is Fatshark Studios, same people that made War of the Roses. They made one other iconic game that I know about that I don't remember the name of right now. Um, but they've never done a game like Vermintide. This is never something they've done before, So they didn't exactly know what they were doing. So they were trying shit out and they tested it. And if there was no interest in the fucking game, if 90% of the people stopped playing the fucking game, why is there a Vermintide 2 now? I'm genuinely confused. Like, you would think a company like or like Fat Shark Studios that realized that there was no interest in War of the Roses because there were other better alternatives such as Chivalry at the time and eventually For Honor. Why would this company, who knows the difference between there is an interest in this game and there is not an interest in this game, because there's no War of the Roses servers anymore. They don't do shit with it and they haven't updated it in fucking years. If these same people knew about that, why would they continue to develop this game? Why would they make more if there was no interest? Why would there be 39,000 positive reviews on Steam? 1,000 of those have been within the last 30 days if there is no interest in the game, and 90% of the player base was lost. I'm confused on that one. There's no evidence of that one. He literally posts no screenshots, no nothing. That's just a number he's pulled out of his asshole. I didn't answer your. Oh, he gets into the meat of it. This one here. We're about to see why he decided. Why, or he's about to read that he's been called an asshole politely. I didn't answer your post because you were clearly not understanding what I meant. Oh, he completely fucking. Oh, he cuts out the rest of it where he's like, yeah, I have better things to do than to sit here and argue with you. And he says, instead of acting like a functional adult and giving clarification, you decided to ignore me and hope nothing came of it. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't even matter what you meant. Your words speak for themselves as the technical director openly admitting that the game is not in a complete state. Otherwise, you would not have desired more time for it. I don't think this person knows how video games work. I don't think this person understands that it doesn't matter how much time you give to a game. It doesn't matter how many hours, how many years you put into a game will never be ready. There will always be problems with the game. A developer, yes, Robin was right. A developer will always want to have more time for their game. You know, like, talk to any developer, any fucking developer at all. They will always tell you, yeah, I would love to have more time on my game, but the thing is time is a commodity. It's not something that I can just spend willy-nilly and do whatever the fuck I want, and it'd be absolutely fine. I have to make sure that I follow my time restraints, and I get shit out, so that way interest in the game isn't lost. That's why it's kind of a worry for Cyberpunk, but because it's CDK Project Red, they've kind of got the ability to do so. This is not CDK Project Red. This is a company that is published by themselves, that is ran by themselves, and everything is done by themselves. They have no fucking, like, commercials or any shit. The people that know about the game know about the game. The most recent commercial I've seen by fucking Fatshark Studios was on the Xbox reveal thing, and that's fucking it. They're all themselves. These guys have got to make sure that they continue the interest in the game. If they fucking delay the game by another year, congratulations, all the people that were like, great, I was excited for this to come out in a week, but now it's not even going to come out for another year. Huh, I'm gonna fucking forget about this one. These people pay for themselves. They pay for all of this shit. And it is paid for by them and their community. Their pressure comes from the people that are providing them the money to continue doing this. Because I don't think this person understands how expensive it is to have these programs like these. Because you have to continually pay for these licenses. It's not like fucking Photoshop where you buy it once and you're good. No, you have to continue renewing your licenses. You have to continue renewing your copyright. You have to continue renewing multiple shit. And that costs money. And if they don't keep up to their shit and keep fucking going because they're alone and have absolutely no fucking publishers, which is their choice, have zero stock inside of their company, they're completely ran by themselves, they have to keep the interest in their game. So perhaps putting it out of that time was because they needed to. But does he need to fucking tell you that? No. You just need to fuck right off and either like the game, play the game, continue to fucking support the game, or fuck right off and don't buy it. Like, why you gotta be the common man's hero and be a fucking asshole to do it? I don't fucking know. The comment about simplified Chinese was not about saying that people should ignore the Chinese community. It was to say the drop in rating does not have to do with anti-cheat, but to do with the Chinese community are angry with us. If you really want to know, is a snarky remark of you devaluing their significance on Steam as your fans, and the way you've been talking about it here just proves my point that you're arrogant enough to try and blame it on them, even as your EAC thread got blown up by the biggest one, blown up to be the biggest one on the entire forum within 24 hours. But yeah, keep up the damage control, my man. If you really want to know, is a snarky remark? I don't understand how that's a snarky remark. I mean, it's text. Let's be honest. It's fucking text. There's not much that you can do to control tone. There's no tone to text. Text has absolutely no fucking tone at all. So how the fuck you're supposed to sit there and go, oh yeah, this remark right here, that's a snarky remark right there. Mm-hmm. Perfect. It's not like he fucking did, the whole caps every other letter for fucking sarcasm. No, he was like, hey, by the way, if you really want to know why our fucking reviews are low, go take a look at this. Is it a valid point? I don't fucking know. I haven't bothered to check. I don't really give that much of a shit. My point is this guy's a fucking asshole. This guy has decided to take it upon himself to be the biggest fucking prick and thinks that he's going to get his way. That's the biggest problem, is that he thinks that this attitude is going to basically get him to what he wants. And it's not going to. It's not going to get him anything. All it's going to do is just make him look like a bigger and bigger fucking asshole, which no one cares about. It's people like this that honestly I think make the gaming community worse. It's honestly people like this that I think are what create bad developers, that make people that don't want to listen to the community, that don't give a shit. It's people like this that create it. Because honestly, if he had just approached this like a normal human being and decided, hey, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to talk to them normally, because ever since their first response, their first post, they've been a dick the whole time, you know? And every time the fucking developer responds to them, they are the nicest person that I've ever fucking seen. They're completely professional, completely nice, exactly what I expect from a fucking, representative? There we go. Exactly what I would expect. So, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't. You know, if you want your opinion to be heard, maybe you should be a little bit nicer. Maybe you should, you know, actually try to have your opinion heard rather than make the person you're trying to have your opinion heard by think you're a fucking asshole. Because if they think you're a fucking asshole, what makes you think they're gonna want to listen to you? So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else. That's the end of it. If you want to look into this, you can go look into it. I'm not going to provide any links. I don't condone any sort of harassment on any people. Um, but if you want to go do your own research and go look at how shitty these reviews are, you can just go to the page of Darktide and go see the curator reviews because holy shit, it's just fucking depressing. It gets worse, and it just gets even more depressing. So yeah, see ya.